Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of Halftime Speech. Today we're going to be discussing our NBA playoff predictions review. As we saw last time, our predictions weren't that right. We had the Nets coming out of the first round, going all the way to the finals. Obviously not. They got swept by the Celtics, and we had Warriors losing to the Suns. Obviously not. They are now your champions. But we're going to get into this today. We're going to discuss each matchup we thought and our reasons why we thought, but we're going to discuss what actually happened. So, Judy, want to start us off?
Yeah, so let's start off in the Eastern Conference with Atlanta versus Miami. We were pretty dang close on this one. Um, we had Miami beating the Hawks in six. They won in five, so we were only one game off. So that's not, the Hawks were dealing with injuries all season, and I just think they're gonna blow it up. I think they're gonna get some more pieces, trade some of the young guys, and then I think they'll be a higher seed. But with that first matchup, we were pretty spot on. With the
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
with this next one, we had Philly and Toronto. We had Philly in five. I'm pretty. Was it a sweep?
Yeah.
I think it was a sweep. So again, we were pretty close. So for with these first two matchups, we've been pretty spot on. Next we had Milwaukee beating the Bulls in five. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So again, spot on. And next, this is where our streak comes to an end. We had the Nets beating the
Badly.
Celtics. The Celtics got swept, or no, the Nets got swept by the Celtics. So we were way off in that one.
Very.
Yeah, we were way off. Let's go into round two. We had Philly and Miami. That is the matchup that happened. We had Philly in six. Philly ended up losing this matchup in, I believe, six or seven. So it kind of just flip it. And then Brooklyn, we had Brooklyn beating the Bucks, and again they got swept in round one. So
And Celtics even won that matchup
yeah, but
anyways.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
we did have the Bucks losing in round two in seven games, which is what happened. But we had it to the wrong team. So then we got Philly versus
The-
the Nets. Neither of those teams were actually in this conference finals matchup. So it ended up
And
being
the game was even more.
Celtics. It ended up being Celtics versus the Heat. Celtics obviously won in seven games, and Celtics went on to be the Eastern Conference champions. All right, I think we can move on to the Western Conference now. We had the Suns beating Pelicans in four. They did end up beating the Pelicans, but I think it was in six. I think largely due to Devin Booker getting injured. So that kind of sucked for them, but they still ended up winning. Next, we had Dallas and Utah. We had Dallas in six. I believe that's what happened. So pretty good right there. Actually, through this first round, excluding the Celtics Nets matchup, we were pretty good.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we were almost spot on with the games. But we weren't exactly right on the matchups on who we're gonna win. But same thing that goes on for every year. Injuries happen. Like we said this when we first made this episode. This isn't gonna be spot on. Injuries can happen. People can miss games. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you can't predict stuff like that to happen either. So let's move on to the next one. We had the Warriors in five. That's what happened. Pretty good right there. And then this was probably our most controversial round one. Um, it was Minnesota versus Memphis. You actually had Minnesota, but I said Memphis. So we were this was kind of our first argument right here, but we ended up going with Minnesota in seven, which the opposite happened. Memphis won in seven. So yeah, we were kind of wrong there, but it was close. So and then in our next series, Golden State versus Minnesota, they won in five, which is what they did, but against the Grizzlies. Phoenix versus Dallas. We had Phoenix winning, and we were pretty confident about that. But
Yeah, I
Dallas
thought that
ended
was
up winning
gonna
in seven.
happen.
Yeah, it just injuries were really bad for the Suns in this playoffs. Like you had to deal with, you know, Devin Booker got hurt for a little bit. Chris Paul was out for a little bit. I think DeAndre Ayton might have missed a game or two. But yeah, they kind of dealt with injuries, and that's what sucked for them. But it is what it is. I really want the Suns to win the championship next year. I want Chris Paul to end with a ring, but it's not looking super good for him right now. But hopefully it happens.
Did you see that Sean Stevenson sold his Mavericks ring?
Who?
Judah. Sean Stevenson. He sold it for like 74,000. For sure positive Chris Paul probably bought that.
Yeah, if I'm an NBA champion, I am not selling my championship ring. I don't care how much.
74K is such a low ball though.
Yeah, 74K for a championship ring. And I would never buy a championship ring either. It just feels fake. Like a
No
champion.
one has to know.
Well, I wouldn't know, and it would make me feel, I don't know. It just if I bought a championship ring, like an actual NBA Finals championship ring, which I would never be able to afford, but like if I was the person who bought it, I don't know. I would feel kind of bad taking away that the ring that this guy, kind of worked his whole life to get. So and plus I wouldn't feel like I earned it either. NBA championship ring is something that you know you earn, and I feel like buying it isn't earning it. So, but
Yeah.
next up we had Phoenix and Golden State. Phoenix was out. It was actually Golden State versus the Mavericks, and we had Golden State in 6. So we were pretty off in that one. We had Golden State losing, and they ended up winning the finals. Um, so the finals, this was actually a pretty fun. I had Suns in 7. You had the Sixers in 7, and we were both arguing so much about who would win that matchup.
And yet we were both wrong.
Oh yeah,
It didn't even take 7 games.
but to be fair, it was both largely due to injuries. I mean, Joel Embiid was hurt, Chris Paul and D Book were hurt, so you know, we were still wrong by a pretty good amount because both teams didn't even make it to the conference finals. But
Right.
if there's something to make an excuse out of it, both teams were dealing with some injuries. So the actual finals ended up being Golden State versus Celtics, where Golden State beat the Celtics in 6 games. Curry, Draymond, and Clay got their 4th ring together, and Curry finally got his first Finals MVP. So, I think the obvious question here is, how much longer is the Warriors dynasty gonna last?
Well,
And
for right now, they still have young stars. I mean,
yeah,
we know Clay and Curry, they're getting old, but Curry's not regressing. Clay is a little bit, but he still has the same impact on his team that he had like 5 years ago.
yeah, I actually think when all the other guys are gone, I still feel that the Warriors dynasty is still going to be going strong because you're going to have Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, Andrew Wiggins, um, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman. You know, James Wiseman, has the potential to get traded this offseason. But I really don't think they will. I don't think they're going to make too many moves. They just came off a championship, a pretty dominant championship too. Like they really didn't have any struggles at all.
Only one was against Memphis, but that
Not,
last game was a blowout.
I mean, it wasn't really a struggle at all. They won in 6. I mean, the Warriors didn't face elimination a single time. So they won this championship pretty dominantly, and I don't think they need to make many changes. And I think their future is looking amazing along with the present. So I just think whoever is the Warriors general manager is probably one of the greatest general managers ever. I mean, to have a roster this dominant right now, but still have all these young, really good stars is, I mean, it's just crazy good. I don't understand how you can put a roster like that together.
Yeah, for sure. It's still scary to see, and it's just gonna be so fun to keep watching, especially when Curry leaves and Clay. So having seen like people like Jordan Poole just keep balling out every night is gonna be great.
Um, so another question is, do you think Curry is the greatest point guard of all time? And if so, do you think he's a top 10 player of all time?
I give him top 10. I'd give him top 10. Greatest point guard. That's difficult. It's difficult. He had an impact in the NBA, which is insane. But you could look at players like, oh, another player of mine personally. This is a little biased. He's my second favorite player. Is Magic Johnson. That guy was obviously one of the greatest point guards of all time, and no one could take that away from him. Like, come on, 3 rings, that pass the rock like crazy, and that's one of his best abilities, especially as a point guard who's super tall, being one of the best passers of all time. I mean, Curry being the best shooter is also the like one of the greatest things to ever happen, and that's an amazing thing to see. So, as being the top 10, yes, I'd give him that. Best point guard, you can always debate that. It's like the same thing with like a LeBron MJ debate. Someone will always debate it.
Yeah, I like that comparison a lot, the LeBron MJ debate. But like for point guards alone, it really has been just Steph Curry and Magic Johnson for a pretty good amount of time. I think Curry is still making his case for number one. Uh,
Oh my gosh, yes.
four
4 rings
time
now?
four time champion, Finals MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, all time 3 point. He has the most 3 pointers in NBA history by a good amount, and he's still going. He's not even close to being done yet. It feels like, and he's still like the top 3 pointers ever. By a pretty good amount. So I think he's gonna finish 3 point all time by like probably close to 1,000. I think it's gonna be that much of a margin between one and two. Two-time MVP, only unanimous MVP selection in league history. All-Star Game MVP, 8-time All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, All-Rookie First Team, 7-time three-point field goal leader in a season, NBA steals leader, 2-time scoring title, 2-time three-point contest champion, and a bunch of others, a bunch of other stuff. So it's just,
A bunch of other stuff.
I mean, if I sit down here and wait to read all this stuff off right now, it's just gonna take too long because his resume is huge. And honestly, in my opinion, and I could probably be persuaded the other way, I think he's better than Magic Johnson. He just his resume is so long, and it's
No, I
it,
can completely agree with that.
he single handedly changed the game. I mean, it's Steph Curry is crazy, and he's not even close to being done. He still's got at least 5 to 6 years left with his career, and it's crazy. And it's not like he didn't even start off on like a hot note. He didn't start off being like one of the best players in his rookie season either. It really took him till his third year to really get started, and he's already got that resume. It's just I he's so good. So I think for sure he's top 10 all time, and I think not for sure, but I think he is the best point guard of all time. So like if he's top 10 all time now, we really got to think, who is not top 10 all time anymore. So you have uh, MJ, LeBron, Kareem, Shaq, Kobe, Larry, Tim Duncan. Then next it could be like Magic, Hakeem, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. I think that's 11 guys I just named. Um, so, and then Steph Curry. So 13 guys. So 3 of those guys aren't top 10 all time.
I think out of those ones, we can either take out Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain.
I don't think Wilt Chamberlain can get taken out.
I don't think so either, but you're looking at his resume wise, it's not.
Wilt Chamberlain. To be honest, Wilt Chamberlain has the greatest stats of all time. Nobody has put up better stats than Wilt Chamberlain ever. But he wasn't. He didn't fill out all the accolades. He didn't have a crazy amount of rings, crazy amount of MVPs. He did that stuff, but he didn't do it more than a lot of people. So, like, a lot of people did it more than him. If he had, say he had, 4 rings, 3 MVPs, I think he's the greatest of all time, to be honest. Wilt Chamberlain.
Super dominant. Some people could compare his
average
to how Shaq was.
He averaged 50 points a game multiple seasons. His career wasn't that long, and he's top 10 all time in scoring. So, in my opinion, I think Wilt Chamberlain's a lock for top 10, and I can't even consider taking him out. So I think Bill Russell you could get rid of. His 11 rings, he did it, but he didn't. He was the best player on his team, but it's not like he carried his team every time. He still had people like John Havlicek and Sam Jones and stuff like that. So he had some more Hall of Famers to help him out. So it's not like he single-handedly won 11 rings.
Right.
So I think Bill Russell could be taken out. I think Hakeem Olajuwon could get taken out over Curry. I think Curry is better than Hakeem Olajuwon now. I don't think Wilt can get taken out. I don't want to take Tim Duncan out either. It's really tough because I do want to put I want to take Magic Johnson out.
What?
No, I want to take Tim Duncan out.
Thank you. I prefer him over.
Magic over Tim Duncan. I think Magic Johnson is number 10 of the top 10, and I think Tim Duncan's number 11. So,
So where do you put Curry in his top 10?
Where do I put Curry? So here's the guys I think is better than Curry in this order. Magic, or no, not Magic. MJ, LeBron, as 1 and 2. Number 3 is Kareem. Number 4, I think, is... I don't know. I think number 4 could be Shaq. Number 5 is Kobe. Number 6 is...
You don't put Kobe over Shaq?
What?
You don't put Kobe over Shaq?
No, I think... it's close, but I think this is also a really close one.
Win a ring without him.
Yeah, so did Shaq. But Shaq wasn't really he didn't really lead his team. He had Dwayne Wade when he won his ring without Kobe. So, I think, those two are interchangeable. So I think 4 and 5 are interchangeable with Kobe and Shaq. And 6 is Larry.
I might want to put Curry over Larry.
I don't think so. I think he could, and I think maybe 7 might be Curry. No, I think, I think 7's Curry, and then 8 is Wilt, 9 is Magic, and then maybe 10 is Tim Duncan. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. I'm going to leave Bill Russell and Hakeem Olajuwon out of my top 10. I know I'm forgetting somebody.
Yeah, slightly trying to think here.
But I think that's a pretty good top 10. I got
it's not bad. No.
Curry at 8, and then Magic at 9, Tim Duncan at 10. I think I'm fine with that, and I think Curry has the potential to be over Larry when it's all said and done. Do you think?
That's great.
All right. Do you think Curry could, when it's all said and done, do you think Curry could be better than Shaq and Kobe,
Um, well,
or maybe just Kobe, or maybe just Shaq?
I think due to media, people will not allow that to happen.
But in your eyes, do you think that Curry is
My
going to
eyes,
win more MVPs and more championships? Enough more accolades and enough dominance of the league to be better than Shaq and Kobe. In your
I
eyes, do you
think by the
think that could happen?
yes, yes. By the time I think Curry's contract ends, and I believe that's when he retires, or he signs another 1 or 2 year, that he will win another ring, Finals MVP in that, and maybe another scoring title.
Maybe when it's all said and done, Curry might be top five all time. Maybe.
I
But
don't think I could.
I,
I
th-
don't think I could put him top five.
I mean, you would have.
I want to
Um,
say I don't think he could ever pass Shaq,
he's not
only
passing.
because
He's not passing MJ, LeBron, Kareem. He's not. No way. No
no, I
chance. Zero
don't think he could
chance.
pass Shaq due to the fact that how dominant Shaq is. Yes, Curry can average 30
I
points
mean,
in a
Curry's
season.
dominant,
Yes,
just not in the same way. Curry's dominant from the three
exactly what I
point
mean
line.
by that.
Curry's as dominant from the 3 point line as Shaq is in the paint, if not more.
No, I completely agree.
And
Completely agree.
three's more than two. Um,
Mhm.
so he's not passing MJ, not passing LeBron, not passing Kareem. Next up, you have Shaq and Kobe at 4 and 5. I think they're interchangeable. At 6, I think you have Larry. And 7, you have 7 you have Curry. 8, you have Wilt. So Curry, in my opinion, is the seventh best player of all time. I think I think he could pass Larry. I don't think it's gonna take a whole lot more. Maybe if he wins MVP in the next 2 seasons, which I think are solid possibility, I think he's better than Larry. One MVP or one ring. If he wins a MVP, he's better than Larry. Or if he wins a finals and a finals MVP, he's better than Larry. So I think Curry has a good
I think
chance
one
to
more ring, yeah.
finish sixth all time.
I think if he gets one more ring, he could definitely pass up there.
But
If he gets another
if
ring,
he gets another ring but doesn't get Finals MVP, I'd probably still put him behind Larry.
yeah. If he does though, I could say he has a debate to be able to pass Kobe and Shaq due to the fact he has as many rings.
Yeah. I if he gets another one, like he'll have 5 rings. Shaq has 4. Kobe has 5.
No one can say he was carried to all of his rings.
No,
He was able to win
he's
a
the one who
ring with
carried,
and
and
without
you
KD.
can't take it away from him. You can't be like, oh, he built a super team. No, Golden State drafted the guys he won 4 championships with. They drafted Clay, they drafted Draymond. They traded for Wiggins, but that's not a super team. They the Golden State Warriors built their team out of the draft, and you can't take that away from Curry because the players that they ended up drafting ended up being amazing. So you can't take that away from Curry, and Curry, still led it all, on top of having a good team around him. So, um, I really don't know if I think he has a really good chance to finish over Larry, and I think he has a chance. I'm not going to say a good chance, but I think he has a chance to finish over Shaq and Kobe. So, yeah, that's all I got, to be honest.
That's fine. Yeah, I really like those questions. Those are great ones to ask. This finals really did say a lot about some certain teams here, like what's Philly and the James Harden situation. Do we think James Harden's washed? Yes. No.
I think James Harden is getting there. He's not quite washed yet because he's still good, but he's not prime James Harden. Not even close to prime James Harden. Prime James Harden was 2 years ago. We've already saw regression last year, even more this year, and I think he's getting there. So if somebody gives him a somebody gives him a max contract, they're going to be regretting it. So, James Harden, I feel like is going to get a max contract just because he's James Harden. But I think whichever team gives him that max contract is going to be real mad at themselves after he starts regressing even more. Because I think he will. I think he will regress even more than he has. He doesn't really have that mentality to get it done. That's why Kobe is one of the all-time greats, because he had that mentality, the Mamba mentality to do what it takes. And I don't think James Harden's got that. Not even close.
Another question here: if with the Brooklyn situation, if Kyrie leaves, do you think KD is set to leave, or will he finish in Brooklyn?
I'm not super sure when KD's contract is done, but I think KD could. I think KD will start the year in Brooklyn. This year, I think Kyrie will leave. My official prediction's the Knicks, but it could be Clippers or Lakers. I'm not super sure about the Lakers, but I don't know. I think KD is gonna find a new team at some point in his career. Maybe it's this offseason after Kyrie leaves, or maybe it's the trade deadline, maybe it's next offseason. I really don't know what the future for KD is like.
Well, let's just hope for the best. All right, I think that's it for the episode. I think that's all we got.
Yeah, that's all we got. I'm excited. Golden State's one of those teams. They win so much, but you still root for them anyways. But I really hope Golden State, and Curry. I want them to win another one. Even though I'm not a Golden State fan, I want them to win another one. Because Curry. I'm a Curry fan. Curry really got me into basketball, so I just want him to be super successful. Yeah, so that is all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed.